Hi, my name is Jeff Avery. I'm an academic advisor in the School of Computer Science, and today I want to talk to you about dropping a course, which sounds like it should be a simple topic, but there's consequences to it. So I just want to talk through basically not the mechanics of how you drop a course, that's fairly easy, but the consequences of that decision and how it will affect you based upon when you do it. So I'm going to point you at a couple things online. Let's go to the course calendar first. So the big question is, where do we start, right? So we're going to start at the registrar's office. It seems like a strange place to start, I know, but basically the effect of, or the impact of dropping a course really depends on when during the term you drop it. So this, I'm going to use as an example, I'm going to use the fall 2020 term, because that's the term coming up for us right now when I'm recording this video. So here's the beginning of the term, right? We're in September, classes begin on the 8th. This is the first week of the term. At this point, you can add courses, do whatever you want. The last day to add is usually about 2 weeks into the term. And then usually about a week after that, you'll notice down here on September 28th, there's two critical dates. Last day to drop, and this is hard to read, but it's tuition and fee refund. So I'm going to call these the 100% refund deadline and the, I don't know what else to call it, drop without restriction deadline. Okay, and that's September 28th. It falls not necessarily on exactly the same date because terms don't always start on the same day, but it falls about that far into the term, okay? Certainly within the first month. So if you drop a course between the beginning of the term and September 28th, between these two deadlines, you're going to get 100% of your money back, and the course will not appear on your transcripts. It will just be stricken completely from your record as though you didn't take it. So this is why we say if you really want to get rid of a course, you want to make sure it never shows up and it's never on your account, do this. In particular, pay attention to that tuition refund date, because the next day, if you decide to drop a course on the 29th or later, you will not get 100% of your tuition back. You will get, at most, 50%. So the next day I want you to be aware of is the 29th. This is flagged in the calendar as drop with WD date. So, and this is on September 29th. So what does WD mean? WD is a term that's going to show up in your transcripts, and it basically means withdrew. It means you withdrew from this course. So if you WD a course, it will continue to show in your transcripts, but instead of a grade, you're going to have a small WD where the grade would be, okay? Yes, employers can see this. Yes, other people can see this, but it does not have an impact on your academics. No real impact. Prior to 2017, there was something we called unusable attempts, where we would sort of track it and we would consider it kind of towards a negative count, kind of like towards a failure count, all right? And there were certain courses that we would want to count. If you're curious about this, email me and I'll go into a lot more detail about it. But since 2017, we no longer do that. Our policy or our intent, frankly, is that if you're struggling in a course, we would rather that you withdraw from it and take it again later successfully than struggle with it and fail it at the end. It's not good for you. It's not good for your academics. So anyways, a WD. September 29th, in this example, forward, you're going to get a WD. Again, no impact on your grades. It does not get included in your average, okay? Let's just jump back here. A couple of the dates that are important. So that's the 29th. If we go into October, this is, into the sort of the full term. We're full bore here, past reading week and so on. The next important date that comes up is October 26th. This is about a month after the 100% refund deadline. There's a 50% refund deadline that shows up here, okay? And that's on October 26th. Again, it's about a month after the 100% refund deadline, okay? So if you drop before this, you will get a WD, and you will get 50% of your tuition. If you drop after the 26th, you will not get any tuition back. It's so far into the term at this point, the university considers that you've basically used the resources for the term. You've gotten the majority of the benefit from the course, so they're not inclined to refund money at that point. The last dates that are important, So you can continue dropping, in this case, up until November 23rd. If you drop up to this point, you'll notice it says drop with WD. This is the last date to drop and still get a WD. So I believe I said that's November 23rd in this particular case. The next day, on November 24th, is WF. You don't want a WF. A WF basically is a withdraw and failure, and that's considered a failure. It actually counts as a 32% on your transcripts, and it counts as a failed course. Frankly, the only reason you would typically get a WF is if, well, I can't think of a good one, frankly. Talk to us. If you're in that situation where you think you're in such dire straits that it's not even worth writing the exam, talk to us and see if there's some advice we can give you to sort of help you figure out what to do, okay? And that's sort of it, okay? That takes you through till the end of the term until the final exam period, all right? You'll notice that, and this is an interesting one that most people don't realize, December 8th, actually the WF ends. The reason for that is you're not allowed to drop a course during the exam period. Once the exam period is started, in this case on the 9th, you're committed to that course. And then with whatever grade you earn in that course. Hopefully this never happens to you, but if you fail to write the exam, it doesn't count as a WF. It actually counts as a DNW, did not write, which is also a failure, indicating that you chose to not write the exam, and you got a failing grade because of that. So that's sort of it in summary. I tried to list them here to kind of give you a rough breakdown, right? So like I said, the first deadline to be aware of really is this deadline at the beginning of the term, which is effectively when you can drop it without any impact whatsoever. This is will not appear on transcripts. Okay. And that's a great thing to do, frankly, if you maybe have overloaded your term, you have too many courses during this term, you're a little bit worried about how your term is going to appear. It's really a good idea to try to make decisions about making adjustments to your courses in that first few weeks of the term. It's the least impact on you. It certainly saves you a lot of money if you choose to withdraw from something right away. And the other real distinction here is this idea of a WD versus a WF. A WD, as long as you drop the course before that date, which is usually a couple months into the term, you're going to get a WD. Again, no impact on your academics. It's probably a good idea to do that if you're struggling and you don't think you're going to pass the course. If you WD before October 26th, you get a 50% tuition refund. It's still a WD, but you get money back. After that date, it's no longer a WD. And again, WF, that's sort of the last resort. If you withdraw from a course for any reason after that WD deadline, then it's going to be considered a WF as well. On a related note, if you're ever in a situation, like I said, where you feel you have to withdraw from a course in the last few weeks of the term, please talk to us. Often if that happens to somebody, it's because there's extenuating circumstances, there's other things going on. We may be able to give you some advice on how to proceed. So don't struggle if you're struggling. That's it. I hope this was helpful for you and gives you an idea about how to drop a course, and as well how some of the encodings work for courses through the term. Thank you.